Hey, what's going on YouTube? Lionel here again. I said I was going to do two reviews, and I am going to pump this one out also. The first review was on Aqua de Parma's Colonial Oud, and that fragrance got about a 9.8. I just don't give anything a 10 anymore, but it is definitely high marks. If you are looking for a oud fragrance, if you're looking for an introductory oud, if you're looking for a classy oud, if you're looking for a go-to top-notch fragrance, that is it. The price point is around 180 for 100 mils, so it's definitely splittable. It is definitely a top shelf fragrance. I would just tell you, go for that sucker, man. It is good. So with that one, another shout out to Devin Hicks. He also sent me all of the new Tom Fords there. I think it's the Atelier de Orient is the new line from Tom Ford. There was three fragrances in there. One was China, one was Shanghai Lily, I think. And this one, which I'm going to review, is Plum Japonais. Maybe it's Plum Japanese. Let me see. I'm sure someone can pronounce it better. There's somebody on here doing ways to say these words, and I just don't have the time to try to figure all of that out. So with that said, let me get into this one. So if you know Tom Ford, he does not reinvent the wheel very often. On this fragrance, he really did not reinvent anything. He just redefined it to the point where it's a new fragrance, something that will be familiar to your nose if you know anything about Tom Ford's private line, but still decadent enough to own on its own. So, to own on its own. Alright, now, let me tell you this. I couldn't get the notes. There are a bunch of things running around there. If you try to search online, the notes are pretty difficult to get. I'm going to tell you what I smell. Somebody can confirm the notes. But here's what I think. So, when you put this on, you are immediately, your nose is massaged. I mean, think of the best masseuse that you can think of. Think of, I don't know, someone like, I don't know, Halle Berry's older now, but just back in my day, it was Halle Berry. So if Halle Berry was giving you a nose massage, that's the opening of Plum Japonais. It is gorgeous. Like, the plum is so decadent, it's so sweet, but on top of that, it sort of has some depth. So it's not. It's called a fruity floor, and it's called for women. Now, let's push that out the way. I don't care what this one is defined as. This is definitely unisex, by far unisex. This is probably more unisex than Noir, maybe. I don't know. I'll make the argument that it is. But the plum is there, but it's supported with something. It's something there, almost like sugar cane or something. I don't know how to define it, but it's not a fruity, girly plum. It is a deep, ripe plum that you're gonna put like a plum pie or something. That's what it almost opens like a plum pie type thing, right? Like a crust or something. There's something in the plum there. Immediately after that, so I'm saying, 5-10 minutes into that, as the other notes start to unfold, unravel, I get something akin to Amber Absolute / Noir de Noir. Something like that. Amber Absolute, maybe incense, maybe some labdanum, some amber, something like that. It's beautiful though. It's not as deep and it's not as dark as either of those fragrances. It's just a tad bit lighter, but this can definitely, okay, this would be much more versatile than both Amber Absolute and Noir. And Noir is one of my favorite fragrances. Like, it has remained in my top 5. I would put Plum directly next to Noir. I wouldn't say either of them are better. They are neck and neck. If you want something with rose in it, go Noir. If you want something a bit more fruity, a bit more, I would even argue maybe even a little more versatile, I would say go with Plum. I mean, it is gorgeous. The opening is delicious. So anyway, as the opening burns out and this incense amber thing comes in, it starts to remind you of Amber Absolute, but it's scaled back a bit to again, to be more versatile. and the plum just stays there, and it gets sweeter and deeper and darker, and the fragrance starts to unfold. I've read somewhere where someone says it faded. It doesn't fade. To me, it opens up. It's sort of contained at first, and then it starts to open up, which actually for me says that I can wear this one in the summer. I would put this like next to maybe like a Sweet Redemption on a versatile level. So if you can handle Sweet Redemption in the summer, in the warmer weather, you can handle this one in warmer weather. I mean, I'm talking about maybe even outside warmer weather, just because of that plum note in it. That plum note just makes it sort of a springy, summery, kind of gives it that vibe, but the darkness, maybe you pull it out at night. If you're gonna go, if you're at Miami at night, like you're in Orlando at night, you're in a warmer climate, you know, Dallas, Houston at night, and you want to stand out and be sexy, get away from all that aquatic fresh stuff, even the Creed fresh stuff, I would go with this one, because the way the plum and the amber and as incense all play together makes it darker, deeper, and much more sexy and much more attention grabbing than any of that stuff. Yet it's not as heavy and as you know, as burdensome as even Noir or Amber Absolute. So here's what I think that's in there. There's some woody notes. There's definitely some amber or labdanum. There's some incense, and then there's plum. Maybe there's even some saffron in there. Maybe it's sort of like he took Noir, scaled it back, and poured this juicy plum on top of it. But the fragrance is just absolutely gorgeous. Like, I've been very, like, from what Devin sent me, I was just blown away. I was blown away by this one, and I was blown away by Aqua de Parma's Colonial Oud. So if I was to rate this, if I was to tell you versatility, I'll give it 7.5. I'll give it a 7.5 because it is a bit heavy. So you definitely probably wouldn't want to wear this to a kid's party. But if you're going to go out, if you're going to go to dinner, if you're going to go meet somebody, you're going to go have drinks, I would run with this one. Projection, I'll give it about an 8.5. I would put it neck and neck with Noir de Noir. Longevity, oh well, you know what? It's a little less, so I'll give it a 7.5 because it's not as heavy, but that adds to the versatility, which I'll give, you know, high marks. I'll give high marks for versatility. I'll give high marks for projection. I'll give high marks for longevity. I'll give it high marks for overall scent. Now, factor in Tom Ford's price. You're going to have to, I just looked online, I think it was about $5.20 for an 8.4. That's going to cost you a pretty penny then to split. However, I would argue that it's good enough to even get on a split blind. If you like Noir de Noir, if you like Dangerous Liaisons, if you like Sweet Redemption, if you like anything in that category, I would tell you that this one would be an absolute must get 5 to 10 mils to fill a split. I mean, if you were thinking about something, you just wanted to buy something and you were looking for another 10 mils, I would tell you to go with this one because it's just so downright gorgeous. It is just beautiful. It's decadent. So overall, I'll give it about a 9, 8.5, 9 out of 10. I think it's definitely worth split. I wouldn't buy a bottle blind. I wouldn't buy anything Tom Ford blind, but just because of the price points. But if you can get, you know, 10 mils for maybe, you know, 2.5. I mean, if you can get 10 mils for $25, I mean, I think you're getting a really good deal. I think you're getting a really good versatile, sexy night fragrance. I mean, I don't know if I would wear this one to work because it's just just the vibe it gives off maybe a bit. But I wear Noir de Noir to work, so I don't know. I can argue, but you're definitely you will stand out wearing this at work. At a club, I think you will turn some heads. I think it is a neck sniffer. I think it is a hug getter. So I give it high marks. I'll give it. I'm going to be conservative and give it about an 8.75. But Tom Ford did a really good job with this one. So anyway, that's it for me. Those are my 2 reviews. Hopefully I get to interact with you later. Again, Aqua de Parma de Colonial Intensive Oud Concentrate, whatever the long name is. I gave it about a 9.7, 9.8, and I'll give this one about an 8.7 to a 9. So that's it for me. I greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you for my recent subscribers. Thank you again for everyone else who's commented. I promise I'll try to respond. I'll be going on vacation here, so I may not have a lot of time to respond. But thanks again, and I appreciate you guys. Peace.